and welcome to the King's Table video series, video number 3. My name's Roger, founder and CEO of TriVision Global and steward of the King's Table. I'm glad that you're joining us here today. If you haven't had a chance to watch video 2 and video 1, I recommend definitely go back. These build on one another and precept upon precept, if you will. So in video number 1, we talked about the shift that's coming and some of the things that you can do to prepare yourself predominantly spiritually, as that's going to be the primary method of ensuring that you can endure the challenges that are coming in the days ahead. And the second video, we touched on one of the most powerful forces that we're exposed to today, which is the spirit of deception and how it affects our lives and our journeys, and whether or not we're going to hear the wisdom that we need for the times and the days that we're ahead. In today's video, I'm going to touch on the 2 different types of pools of knowledge or wisdom, if you will, and how they affect our lives. And I'm here in Portland today, and we're going to be sharing with you these concepts in hopes that you can apply them both to your lives and in your business. So the challenges that we're facing in the days ahead really are going to rely, or ensure how we're going to get through them, basically, is if we live our lives by the right wisdom, the right knowledge. And the challenge that we have seen both in the church as well as in our own lives and in the secular market is basically how we tap into the pools of wisdom that are available. So there's really 2 pools. One comes what's called the Leviathan pool, and the other is God's wisdom. And so each pool of knowledge or wisdom, if you will dramatically impact your life. One of the things that I have found myself in walking my walk is learning how to tap into the proper pool of wisdom. I have made tremendous mistakes in my own journey, and as a result, the impact that it had on my life and my business was rather dramatic. We were putting on a workshop back in 2009, and sorry. We were putting on a workshop back in 2009, and we were challenged with an overwhelming amount of obstacles that bombarded us, from what the city required to the marketing company that we hired to help us, to the radio station that broadcasted our commercials. It was really an overwhelming amount of obstacles, and we tried to pool, if you will. We were trying to gain the wisdom that we needed, listening to some of the experts that supposedly knew what they were doing, and we were doing our best to listen to the advice of counsel of those that we trusted. And one of the things that we discovered is the hard way is that they were pulling from the wrong pool of wisdom, and as a result, we ended up investing almost $30,000 over the course of a week and a half to put on this event, and the results were tragic. We had literally just 3 people show up to the event, and so that was a major impact or challenge to our business, and obviously to our lives and my family around us. And the challenge and why we came across it is we weren't tapping properly into the pool of God's wisdom. Instead, what we found out is we were kind of accessing the Leviathan pool of wisdom, or some people use different words for that, but it's the wisdom that comes from God, that comes from above, is told us to be peaceable, pure, gentle. And the wisdom that comes from the enemy is often known as soulish, demonic, and earthly. And so what happens is, when we tap into the wrong pool of wisdom, I'm here in Portland trying to navigate my way to our favorite donut shop, and I'm being faced right now with the challenge of making sure I tap into the right pool of wisdom to get there quickly and efficiently while recording this video and ensuring that I don't get hit by the train. And so it's quite humorous, if you will. And trying to get to the right location here. So when we're navigating our lives, when we're navigating the times and the seasons that are coming before us, we want to make sure that we're tapping into the right wisdom, because tapping into the wrong source of wisdom can really impact our future destiny. And my goal in this video series was to ensure that you were able to tap into the proper pool of wisdom. Just waiting for the light to turn here to make sure I don't get hit by a car. And so the challenge that we have in tapping into the pool of wisdom of God is that our flesh has a tendency to want its own way. It overrides the spirit if we haven't trained up and strengthened the spirit properly. If we haven't learned how to tap into God's presence, how to seek His face, how to surrender our will and our desires and our wants and our preferences, then the challenge that we face is I'm not following the proper pool of wisdom myself here and trying to navigate my way to the donut shop properly. So the challenge is, if we don't know how to subdue our flesh, if we don't know how to tap into the Spirit, if we don't recognize how to be led by the Spirit of God, then what happens is we start tapping into our soulish realm. And in our soulish realm, we don't hear properly from God. We don't get the wisdom that we need. We get the wisdom that our itching ears want to hear, if you will. And that's really why most of the challenges that we face, both in our lives and in our world, are present, is because we haven't learned to tap into the wisdom of God. Instead, we have been subjected to our flesh, and as a result, we're getting the wrong insights and the wrong ideas, and the impact on our lives is rather significant. It's affecting us the wrong way. It's kind of noisy here, guys. Sorry about this. I was hoping to record a nice video down by the water, and I navigated the wrong way. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. And I think it's a beautiful example of what happens when we follow the right way or follow the wrong way, and how it can affect our lives. And so I just want to encourage you, as you're going through this journey, to strive to enter into the wisdom of God. On the page today, you'll find down on the right hand side of the video, you'll find, or is it that way when the video gets posted? Either way, just scroll down and you'll see a PDF download for you called The Wisdom We Need by Derek Prince. And they share, really I think articulate very well why it's so important that we access the wisdom that we need. And in a few days, I'm also going to upload an audio for you that further expounds on this particular article, the wisdom of God and the wisdom that we need, and why it's so imperative that we learn how to tap into God's wisdom, because it's God's wisdom that's going to ensure that we can thrive in the days ahead. It's learning how to tap into, seek His face, enter into His dwelling place, and really begin to hear from heaven. And the only way we can do that is why I have outlined these 4 video series, is we've got to be able to, first of all, be willing not only to enter into His presence and seek His face, but we have to be willing to hear the truth. We've got to make sure that call forwarding or is not turned on, unconditional call forwarding, because we don't want to hear from the Spirit of God. We've got to hear from the Spirit of God. We've got to hear the truth. We also have to learn how to subdue our own fleshly, carnal nature so that we can receive the wisdom of God. And that can be kind of a challenge to do. I know for me, when I was launching TriVision Global and putting on this workshop seminar, that the challenge that I faced was that I wasn't willing to hear the advice of the people around me. What I found was I had a lot of yes men that just told me the truth, what they wanted me to hear. They weren't willing to really tell me what I needed to hear. And interestingly enough, my wife was so intuitive. She really knew what was going on. And instead of me listening intently to what she was saying and trying to discern what the wisdom would be needed to overcome the challenge, I just went dog-eared, stubbornly ahead, ignoring the wisdom and the counsel that she was sharing, because I was operating from the soulish realm. And as I mentioned earlier, the results were tragic. So again, I just want to encourage you to download the article. I'll email you again in a couple of days when the audio's up. Get a hold of the audio and really seek to discern and receive God's wisdom for your life, because right now we're in summertime period, if you will, and we have an opportunity to prepare ourselves spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and as the Spirit leads, financially, physically, and materially, to the degree that He desires us to prepare. And if you tap into that wisdom, you'll be more at peace and secure, knowing that you've heard from the Spirit of God and you're preparing properly for the seasons that we're coming into, the time of pressure and challenge and tribulation. And for some around the world, they're faced with persecution, and we need God's wisdom. We need His Spirit. We need His truth in order to shine in those days and be the light that is present and needed, that will draw men unto the Lord. So again, I want to thank you for taking the time to listen in. My apologies for the different distractions and noises that are present today, but I think it's pertinent and a great teaching example to share amidst all these challenges. So again, thank you for joining us. Now, our next video number 4, is going to really reveal and unpack one of the most important strategies that we can apply to our lives, that God really instilled wisdom-wise of how to come together to ensure that we implement all these aspects that we shared about in videos 1 through 3. And so make sure that you set aside time when the video comes in without distraction. Set aside a little quiet time. Get your favorite motion potion and digital notepads, if you will, and prepare your hearts and your minds to really hear what the Spirit of God is trying to tell you and tell all of us in this time and in this hour. So again, thanks for joining me, and I look forward to connecting with you in video number 4. Have a great day, and God bless.